We got this 2008, I believe. It's got this 2007 Mercedes S550. I'm in Global OBD. I want you to look and see what this one is doing. Basically, it's got a drivability problem. It starts to misfire. Right now, it's doing a little bit of shaking, but okay, so we've got some PIDs that I'd like to look at. So right now we are in open loop. Yes, we have a check engine. It's sort of idling right now, kind of okay. It's not perfect, but it's not fully dropping out, misfiring. As far as our trims, well, we are in open loop, so let's hold off. Again, open loop, it's kind of running okay. So our equivalency, you want that basically at 1.0. And this vehicle seems to be having the problem with bank 1. All misfire codes are for bank 1, so 1, 2, for cylinders 1, 2, 3, 4. There is a random one for cylinder 7, but all are in bank 1. Okay, so we are closed loop. So these are our trims. It's starting to shake. Not sure if you can tell, but it's so it's shaking. We're misfiring. Look at our trims. Bank 1, especially bank 1. Now we go to open. It starts to flash, but it smooths out when it's in open, so it's not constantly misfiring right now. And then, so we went to open loop. And then that'll eventually stop as far as the flashing. Okay, so it stopped when it went back to closed loop. And then it starts to get, okay, we're shaking now. So it's running pretty bad. Shaking, no flashing yet. That's when it smooths out and it starts to flash. So something is going on there with bank 1. You see now we are on a faulted state for the system A. That's going to be bank 1. And then it goes to just displaying default numbers, pretty much even down here. But it's running sort of smooth. Anytime that it's trimming on bank 1, or trying to adjust or make adjustments, so on and so forth, it runs bad. But anytime it's in open loop or this defaulted open loop, it just seems to run okay, or at least better than when it's trimming. Okay, so a little backstory of to why I'm doing what I'm doing, and kind of the reasons why I kind of went through the quick initial scan data with you on camera. This vehicle came to me a few months back. He asked me to diagnose a drivability problem. It had come from another friend that had looked at it at his place, and they tried to rectify the problem. The issue at hand was basically the drive shaft had come apart, and when it did so, it wrapped around the some of the O2 sensors, or it tore them apart. And ever since then, after he got that fixed, the vehicle's been having this drivability problem. They obviously made repairs to the O2 sensors. I don't know if they did any harness work. And along with that, to try to rectify the misfires, all of the Bank 1 plugs and coils and stuff had already been looked at and done. Again, this didn't happen until the harness and everything got wrapped up. After looking at it and seeing that the issue occurs only when trimming, and with all the work that's been done, kind of the determination that's been made is that possibly the engine computer got damaged when the harness got wrapped up. Maybe wires touched when they shouldn't touch, so on and so forth. So with that, we are going to attempt to clone this, get this other used computer installed in the vehicle, and run it and see how it does while it's trimming. Okay, so I'm all done. I got all that info, transferred it over. I'll unplug this from the bench, bring it to the car, and see if we can get it running. Okay, so just to get you a shot, here's the original computer. I haven't attempted to crank yet. I just connected the scanner and reading the modules. And just one thing to keep in mind, you're going to carry over or bring over the codes from the previous vehicle that the used computer was installed in. So unfortunately, so that is a very common code on these Mercedes, but it's not one that this particular vehicle had. And so I'm going to clear the trouble codes and go from there and make sure this starts. So actually, let me go ahead and I want to clear that timing code for sure. And then I will crank it over. All right, so we've cleared those codes. And there's the used one installed. So cycle the key one more time. And let's see if we crank. All right. Now those are other codes that were there before. So now I'm going to check and see how this runs. Okay, so I started it up. Now I'm letting it warm up. And it just went into closed loop. But you can tell, other than the annoying squeak from the belt, it is running smooth. It's not shaking, not misfiring. I'll get you a shot. Well, there's no check engine light. And then, as you can see, we are in a closed loop, so we are trimming or performing adjustments, and it is not bogging down or misfiring any of the such like it was before. So, definitely a difference. And we've been in closed loop for a while before. When it would start to misfire from running poorly when trimming, it would kick itself out, go into open loop, run smooth, and then get back in the closed loop and then start running crappy again. Right now we're staying in closed loop again. Like I said, it's not kicking itself out because it's not running crappy during the trimming. So I'll have to look. I didn't to see if there's kind of like I'll call it an adaptation for fuel trims, kind of like a reset, to see if we can start from fresh. But for right now, I'll just let it run, warm up, let it learn itself and trim, and that should be it.